Appamada's programs and facilities are supported through your generosity. Your support really does make a huge difference. You'll find a link for contributions on the website at appamada.org/contribute. Thank you so much.
Okie dokie. Wow, welcome back. I hope you all had a good sleep last night and were a little bit more relaxed after a little bit of metta yesterday. Yeah, I know I felt really good from just that little bit that we did. Had an impact. Interesting. Little few words. And just sitting with it, the impact that it has. Yeah. So I wanted to mention a couple things. So one thing is that while we're doing this, if the words that you're using, I mean, I've got a standard thing here. May you be happy, may you be well, may you be safe. If there's some other particular words that you think that is particularly more fitting for you, you can substitute something else. What was something somebody said was, may you be tender or have tenderness, something along those lines. So if that fits better for you, feel free to alter those. This is really, it needs to be your own, but this is kind of the general thing. So just send that out to you all if you want to alter it. So I had hoped, the time was really crazy last night. I had such a problem with time. I had hoped to not just do ourselves, although I'm glad we did. I'm glad we spent a lot of time just working on ourselves, that process. And what happened for me, and I don't know if you guys thought of this, I was telling Rosemary about this, that I kept on doing the metta, may I. And at some point I was feeling kind of selfish to just be focusing on myself the whole time. But we're going to remedy that today, so no problem. And as Rosemary was saying, it's all, if you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for everyone anyway, so in a sense. So you probably don't need to worry about that. So are there any questions that anyone has before we get started on the next one? Yeah.
So when we were doing Kinhen just now, I started doing may I be happy or content. And then I realized that my discursive mind was very busy and wanted to interfere.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing metta to my discursive mind.
That's great. Did that help?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds like a good solution. Yeah, that mind, I tell you. Yeah, it's because you're still doing metta, and that's the whole thing. You're coming back to that, and you notice, and it's good to notice. It's good to notice what we're up to as we're going along. Yeah, Darcy.
Yeah, I gotta say, I thank you for making this focus on metta for ourselves. I was not going there last night. I was, really hard on myself in that I wasn't feeling it, wasn't doing it, it wasn't a good experience and all that. Anyway, in sitting this morning, I realized that I've been real impatient with others because I'm not giving it to myself.
Yeah, and that's so important.
And it was really hard to go there.
Yeah.
And I noticed also that I simply couldn't use the pronoun I. May I be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was able to go to you. In other words, as someone else giving it to myself.
Yeah.
And that was helpful, and then, but not really dropping completely in, and then all of a sudden it was my mother, who I could feel really deeply giving it to me.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's really nice.
And something happened after that, I can't remember now. But anyway, it's just like, it wasn't all, it was different. Oh, I know, it went to Peg. That's what it was.
Really?
Yeah, because I have experienced this vast sort of thing from her that has never left me. That I can go there and then I could just, it wasn't like, oh, and it was just really this serene bath. And then, oh yeah, and then I started a little bit being able to give it to myself, but I was standing there with her, giving it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it went for me this morning.
Well, that's great. It's great you persisted with it. Yeah. And in that way, sometimes we need that additional help to do it, and that's fine. That's fine. And sometimes parts will come up, and I mean that's a whole other discussion. But sometimes parts will come up that will be the part that's very critical and says, "I'm."
Oh man, I have plenty of those parts. I had ones that were attacking me and all of that.
Yeah, and it's really important to pay attention to that, and then if you're able to do that, turn to those parts, you know, and because my theory on that, I don't think it's just my theory, but is that the parts are like small children, things that we learned when we were very young, and they're just pulling on your jacket or what have you. They want attention. They want attention, and they're not going to give up. And that's criticism is a great way to do it. And
I like Michael's going to giving Metta to those parts.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
See if it will go there for me.
Absolutely.
Can I say one other thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So at the very end of the kin hen, I changed from may I be to I am.
Oh.
And it really brought tears to my eyes to think that, oh, I am happy. I am well. I am safe. I am at peace.
Very nice. Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it is. You just have to be closer.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry you guys couldn't hear me. It's been a real powerful experience for me. Last night it was horrible, and I realized that lots of my being upset with people had to do with the fact that I'm not loving myself because I wasn't able to say those things. You know, I wasn't able to do the meta phrases and feel any of it. And so I just worked with it this morning, and all kinds of things happened. I wasn't able to say may I, but I was able to say, may you be happy. And then it became my mother holding me, you know, saying those things to me. And then then Peg was saying those things to me. And then I was standing up there with Peg saying those things to me. And that just kind of happened because I was being honest with myself. I just wasn't able to do it. And I thought, oh, that's why I've been so upset with so-and-so. Somebody I like, feeling like I want to murder him. So I think I appreciate Laurie starting with ourselves, at least for me this time. I needed it.
Yeah, that's pretty standard to start with self, because if you aren't loving yourself, it's just like what you were saying, you can't offer it or you can't love others. That's what they say. So it has an impact. usually first. So. Okay, Lisa, don't want to ignore you.
Thank you. So our activity yesterday evening was incredibly powerful for me. I've been visualizing the faces of the 3 others who were in the group with me. And yeah, like almost everybody else, I struggle to experience, receiving metta for myself. But in the activity, oh my gosh, each one of us was expressing these profound actions of loving kindness. I mean, they brought us to tears. They were so profound. And what happened is, and they brought me, I was in tears by something. It doesn't make me cry when I'm thinking it to myself, but when I'm sharing it in this safe space, the way it moves in me, I mean, I can feel it so strongly. And what happened that was so powerful was it was as though each of the experiences of kindness that others received, it's as though I was receiving them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was the little additional support I needed. It's like, whoa, I'm so thankful for you, that someone stepped up or this happened in just the way it needed to happen. And it made me be able to, fully experience, yeah. And this kindness happened to me, and it's just what I needed and wanted. So thank everybody who was in the group, and thank you, Laurie, for that great activity. It really I felt so deeply connected.
Good. It's the intention of it is to so all of us can feel that and from each other, and that really, as we were calling it, priming the prompt for being able to do this exercise, because it can be tough to say to ourselves, may I be. It tends to be tough for people, so it's really helpful.
To admit that I need it too. It's like when I saw others receiving it, I was able to open my heart and realize, oh, why am I resisting? What I long for.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Yeah, it's a really good point. Thank you. All right, so now we'll start on our next little trip. We'll see about the time on that, because this is going to be a little bit longer. So we're going to do our meditation now, so get comfortable again. So today, before we get started on the actual meditation, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back for a minute. What we're going to do is get in groups of 2 in a little bit. So you guys have 3. You can work in. Oh, you got 4, so you can do 2 each, right? Or there's 3? Yeah, 4. So we'll be working in groups of 2, and so just keep that in mind. And so I don't know if you want to do the breakout rooms, I guess, afterward, like we did yesterday, the same way we did it. And we'll do it for probably about the same, well, less time, because there's only 2 people. So maybe 10 minutes together. This is going to be a longer meditation. It's going to be even longer in the afternoon, but here we go. So, so we're going to be thinking about yesterday and the stories that we heard and thinking about the loving kindness that we have received, and just hold that lightly as we're doing this particular meditation. So, again, we're going to start with offering loving kindness to ourselves. Start there. So again, take 2 or 3 deep breaths with slow, long, and complete exhalations. Let go of any concerns or preoccupations. And again, take a few minutes to just feel or imagine the breath moving through the center of your chest, in the area of your heart. And then as you sit quietly, mentally repeat slowly and steadily the phrases that we used yesterday, or any change that you want to make to them. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. You're just saying them to yourself. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease. While you say these phrases, allow yourself to sink into the intentions they express. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease. Loving kindness meditation consists primarily of connecting to the intention of wishing ourselves or others happiness. However, if feelings of warmth, friendliness, or love arise in the body or mind, connect to them, allowing them to grow as you repeat the phrases. And you might hold yourself in your mind's eye as you do this. It may reinforce the intentions expressed in the phrases. Just continue, may I be happy. peaceful and at ease. Sometimes it may also be helpful to do as Darcy did and use may you, thinking of yourself offering your child parts these things. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. So now we're going to move on from offering metta to ourselves. And we're going to offer loving kindness to a friend or someone in your life who you deeply care for. So slowly repeat the phrase of loving kindness toward them. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. And again, as you say these phrases, sink into their intention, heartfelt meaning. And if any feelings of loving kindness arise, connect the feelings with the phrases. So the feelings become stronger as you repeat the words. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. just see how that loving kindness is entering your heart and you're extending it to this loved one that you have. Sometimes we may feel ambivalent about people. So if you choose to replace this with a pet, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter. It's the practice itself. Whoever it is that you love, whatever it is that you love, they may be happy, they may be well, may they be safe, may they be peaceful and at ease. Now we're going to let that go, and we're going to move to offering loving kindness to people who are neutral. That is, people who you may not know very well or have no strong feeling about one way or the other. It may be people like, say, a bus driver, a postman, clerk in a store, a taxi driver, or someone you don't see very often. And once again, we'll be slowly repeating the phrases of loving kindness toward them. Imagine this person in your mind's eye and wish for them, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be safe, may you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy, may you be well, may you be safe, may you be peaceful and at ease. Remember the intention or heartfelt meaning of these phrases as you say them. And any feelings of loving kindness that arises, connect the feelings with the phrases. So again, the feelings may strengthen as you repeat the words. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Lastly, we're going to switch one more time and think of a person with whom you have difficulty. And slowly repeat the same phrase of loving kindness toward them. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Just focus on these words with this difficult person. With a difficult person, you may find other phrases that you would prefer that apply a little bit better, so you're welcome to change the verbiage so that it better represents the loving kindness you feel towards these beings. Be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. We're going to stop. And we'll get into our pairs. One thing I want to say before we do that is that sometimes during loving kindness meditation, seemingly opposite feelings come up. And so it's really important, either they have sadness or anger or grief, all of those can come up. And these are signs that your heart is actually softening, and it's actually revealing what you hold there. So it's not a bad thing. And when that happens, you can actually shift to mindfulness and just kind of be with the things that come up. Just notice them, and just practice with them as you can. Or you can just bring in patience, acceptance, and kindness, what you can. You may not feel that way, but just any that you can muster, and then direct loving kindness directly towards them. And the most important thing is to remember there's no need to judge yourself for having those feelings super quickly. So to be easy on ourselves, particularly if we're working with difficult people. That stuff comes up, and it comes up, and so you can work with that either now or later. So it's not a problem, and not unusual. So one thing that I want to say before we split, and then I'll give the questions, because I don't think I sent these to Rosemary. I might have, but I don't think I did. Anyway, loving kindness ensures that our path to freedom is that we're not aloof from other people. So we're bringing other people constantly. People are constantly, you're bringing them in. And what I mean is that just doing loving kindness for ourselves, well, as Rosemary was pointing out earlier, it's not, it isn't just for yourself. It's greater when you're offering it to yourself. It's a gift to others, because the more loving kindness that a person has, they're not going to be ugly to people as much. So you're going to be helping people out if you're offering loving kindness to others. But yeah, and so it may seem like that's how it was feeling for me, that I felt kind of aloof in it, just myself. It didn't feel right, but so it's kind of implied that we're offering it to others. But when we do it directly, it brings it more into focus, and we develop a stronger feeling of loving kindness for these other folks. So, yes.
A little bit of an issue that I'm having with Metta is the way that it kind of makes more solid the idea that we're separate.
It's interesting. It's because it usually causes the opposite, but because you're saying I and
yeah,
and it's
and I like the idea that may we.
Well, that's good too. We're going that direction.
Oh, good.
I mean, this one was expanding it from just I, and then we're going to go extend it further. So not to worry about that. But as I was saying it, even offering it to yourself is a gift to the whole world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's So anyway, so keep holding on. We'll go further.
Okay.
Not to worry. So what I'd like to do now is to get in our pairs, and we can just figure out. You guys can figure out the twosies you want to be in. And here are the questions. So it's just basically about talking about this experience of going through these different people, different kinds of people, offering loving kindness. Just talk generally about that, and how did it feel? Talk about how did it feel to offer metta to yourself today. This is like the second time we've done it, so what was that like? How did it feel to offer metta to someone who really cares about you? You really cares about you. What was that like? And then, to the other groups too, to the neutral person, to the difficult person. And who was easiest? That's probably an easy question. And which one was more difficult? We can probably anticipate the answer to that. And did you notice any changes in your heart during the meditation, and from the beginning to the end? Not just overall. Overall is fine too, but like, were you increasing the loving kindness in general as you went down, or was it with some people you had a whole lot and others you didn't? Just kind of explore that a little, and see, see where the loving kindness, what was it doing? How was it affecting you? And did the loving kindness that you did for yourself affect how you were able to give loving kindness to the other people? Stuff like that. So, all right. So I think 10 minutes is probably enough for those questions. Oh, there's the kitty. Talk about loving kindness. Okay, so I just wanted to get back together and to see if anybody had anything to share about how that went, what that was like. Genevieve.
So, first of all, from the time we started, well, I was really distracted at the beginning. But once we started doing the meta, I finally was able to kind of coalesce and land and start being present, which I really appreciate. And what I'm most valuing so far, may not be the right word, but what's most interesting to me is my observations of when and how and why I'm not able to do it. So with the difficult person, I noticed immediately it was like, yeah, you are happy and safe and well, and you know, but I don't get to have that. You know, why do you have everything I ever wanted? And it's not fair. Like, oh my God, I had no idea that was going on. And so now I have this totally different understanding of what's happening between us, you know, and I realize I can't expect to get loving kindness from her if that's what I'm, you know, if that's the energy I'm presenting. And I really do think she's a lovely person. So, and resentment is an interesting thing I've become aware of in the last few years, that I have carried all this resentment around without knowing it. And it's the not knowing it that's really harmful. And also victimhood. Like, oh, and I really appreciated Michael's suggestion. And I did do I am. Because of when I say, may I be happy, what my brain hears is, oh, I'm not happy right now, but maybe in the future, you know. So when I say I am happy, then I have this other, like, I am, well, that's interesting. I'm well. I thought I was sick. So you're saying I'm well? That feels really good, you know. So that was really interesting too, to notice what my conditioned role or place or thought about how I am is, and just be like, but this, gosh, it feels so much better to be like, I am safe. Whew. Oh, that's nice.
It says, how are you? We often say, fine. And I wonder, you know, I'm really good today or something. I wonder if that's kind of like a positive meta, where we might not even recognize it or be that way. But it seems that like starts something going. Oh, yeah, I'm good today. It's a little bit of a meta thing.
I always figured, how are you today? It depends on who it is and the circumstances, but a lot of times it's such a social convenience. I mean, you're just saying it like hi. It's an extension of hi, how are you? I mean, I know that runs together in my mind. It's not that I don't care about the person, but it's not really what a lot of times if you're in a hurry, you just say that. It's a social mores, and so it just gets all put together. But if you're really asking that, that's a nice thing. You know, if it's a real conversation. Sometimes it just isn't. It does that.
Well, if you take it as a serious question, like when someone says, wait a second, and I say, time's up. It's an attempt at changing the consciousness of the things we say or how we present ourselves.
That's right.
And I think that's what Kim is suggesting here.
Yeah, because there are people that I will say, oh, and how are you? But that's a whole different thing. I mean, the way I say it. But a lot of times it's just a thing. But yeah, there you are. In the other case, it is a nice thing. So
I think Rosemary.
Yeah, Laurie and everyone, I'm just appreciating so much here, everybody's comments, and the idea that as we do this exercise more, and I would think for me, it's going to be more and more in my own practice, the idea that the feelings could get stronger was really wonderful. I mean, I didn't achieve that here in this time, but that was really, I have faith in that can happen, and stronger and deepen. There was one other thing about, no, I'm not sure, but yeah, just sharing is very helpful, and looking at, yeah, the difficult one was difficult. There was really a difference there, and but very valuable, you know. Yeah. So it's just being together, is like Lisa was saying before, being together and sharing what it's like to go through this towards ourselves, others, just really valuable. So thank you. Thanks.
I know we need to stop, but yeah, I think I am happy most of the time. I was thinking about that the other day. I didn't change the verbiage. I still thought it was nice to be offering it, but it's nice to notice that when you might not realize it, because there's things that come up all the time and they're irritating or whatever, and you forget that, I'm pretty good actually when it gets down to it. And being well and being safe. I really appreciated the safe one. I've never heard the safe one before. And it's so important, so important. And not everybody feels safe just being. And I was realizing how safe I am, and sometimes I don't feel safe, and yet I'm as safe as I can be, considering the world, anything can happen, So anyway, and I really like the peace one. It's really calming me down. So I really appreciate that one. So that's my feedback. Yeah, in case anybody was interested.